could come across as quite different candidates is when you're talking about race, when you're talking about those issues. Senator Warren has been historically considerably more comfortable with them than Senator Sanders has been. So if they both have a question like that, I think that could be a real opportunity.
In that particular vein, I mean, Elizabeth Warren, does not have as long of a record as Bernie Sanders does, right? So she's going to go back. She has to decide. Does she want to go after him on his vote on giving immunity to gun manufacturers, for example? Does she want to go after him on his opposition to, potentially opposition to reparations, et cetera? Yeah. So that is interesting because he doesn't have as much to go after.
Let's also look at Wednesday night. Yeah. I mean, this, the rematch between Biden and Harris.
This is going to be the Thrill in Manila. Whatever it is. We got the big rematch now. And I think both of these candidates have a lot on the line. Kamala Harris just knocked this guy on his seat. And the question is, and so people say, listen, she got a lot out of it. There's a quiet concern, though. People saying maybe she was too mean. Maybe she's too harsh. She's got to make a calculation. Do I keep doing that? Do I show another side? He, on the other hand, has got to show some spine. And so they're going to be calculating now how tough, how mean, but if he gets too tough, then he overdid it. So they've got a big fight.
She's going to be helped by Cory Booker, though.
Right.
Don't forget, this is the first time that Cory Booker has been on the stage with Joe Biden after he came out. He was so critical of Biden after Biden talked about the segregationists that he worked with in the United States Senate. And I think Booker is going to. Well, we'll see if Booker goes after Biden.
I'm sorry.
No, that'll be a possibility.
I think we also ought to allow for the fact that even though these matchups are important, and I appreciate the fight night analogies, they all have imperatives strategically. Elizabeth Warren is doing very, very well, but she's doing well with college-educated voters, very liberal voters, and young voters. She hasn't broken through with white working-class voters, and her message is geared that way. She needs to find. I think she would have liked to have been in the debate with Biden, perhaps to have that discussion about the bankruptcy bill to help burnish her vote there. Kamala Harris did very well in defining herself as a fighter in that moment. It was a very dramatic moment. Of all the top contenders, I think her message is least fleshed out. And so beyond having Biden on that platform, she needs to use that time to tell people exactly what this candidate is about.
But just to give a sense for our viewers of how high the stakes are, not to use that cliche yet again, how many of these 20 will likely go on to the next debate?
Well, on night 2, if you start with night 2 and you put night 2 up, only Vice President Biden, let me get this to go here, Vice President Biden and Senator Harris. They're the only 2 who have qualified so far. And so for the second debate, you need to be 2% in 4 qualifying polls and have 130,000 unique donors. They're the only 2 on this night. So if you're all these others and your fundraising is dependent, money follows momentum. And so if you're them, you're thinking, okay, am I going to be there in September? I have to do something here.
Right.
Which means they're your targets. That's the best way to make news. And the best way to get headway is to go after them. That's night 2. So let's clear this out and look at night 1. Again, of these candidates who are up on night 1, Senator Sanders is in round 3, Elizabeth Warren is in, and Mayor Buttigieg is, and Congressman O'Rourke is. So you have more candidates who have already qualified for the next round. But again, there's some big names here. Senator Klobuchar, Governor Bullock is trying to make this his first debate. He's trying to make a name for himself. Sure. Can he? Can he make the outsider argument, I want a Trump state? Can he make it to September? Is part of the argument here. I also will say this, that I have a question in the second round of debates here about Mayor Buttigieg, in the sense that he was the early surprise of this field. He was the guy who shot up. He blocked Beto O'Rourke from the new, interesting, next-generational face lane. A guy from Middle America. He's plateaued. He's had the police shooting issue back home. He's raised a ton of money. He's had he's built a pretty good organization so far, and he's proven he's got the fundraising resources. Where's his play? Where is his play for who am I in this race? And can he's in the top 5. This has been a 5-candidate race, even though there's 20 qualifiers for the debates. The leaders, we've had a consistent 5 at the top of the polls, but he's at the bottom of those 5, and he's kind of plateaued. He needs a moment. Yeah. What will it be?
The roster, Anna, is now set for CNN's 2-night Democratic presidential debate event in Detroit. So let's review who's sharing a stage. These 10 candidates will face off the first night, Tuesday, July 30th, and they are Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. They will join Pete Buttigieg, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, Marianne Williamson, John Delaney, John Hickenlooper, Tim Ryan, and Steve Bullock. On the second night, Wednesday, July 31st, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They will join Julian Castro, Andrew Yang, Cory Booker, Jay Inslee, Kirsten